My dear child. Something is shifting around you tonight. Not in the loud, obvious way the world usually demands your attention, but quietly, spiritually, almost like a whisper traveling through dimensions just to find you. And somehow, your heart already knows it. There is a voice connected to your destiny that has been trying to reach you for longer than you realize. A voice tied to memories you have never lived, yet somehow still recognize. A soul that has spoken your name in silence, prayed for you without knowing your face, and carried a longing they could never fully explain. You thought the ache inside you was loneliness. But it was deeper than that. It was recognition before meeting. It was two souls moving toward the same moment. Through different storms. And today, something begins to open. The distance between you and this person is no longer protected by divine timing the way it once was. The walls are thinning. The signs are multiplying. Even the energy around you has started changing in subtle ways you cannot fully describe. Have you noticed it? The strange pull in your chest. The random memories that arrive out of nowhere. The feeling that someone is thinking about you at the exact moment you think about them. That is not coincidence. Because while you have been trying to move forward with your life, someone has been carrying your energy everywhere they go. Late at night, when the world becomes quiet and distractions disappear, your soulmate feels you the strongest. There are moments when they stop in the middle of ordinary life because something about your spirit suddenly touches theirs. And what they feel in those moments frightens them a little. Not because it is bad. Because it is real. This connection was never meant to be casual. That is why the universe keeps placing reminders in front of you. Certain songs. Certain numbers. Certain dreams. Certain emotions that arrive without warning. Heaven has been preparing your heart slowly, carefully, because what is approaching carries emotional weight powerful enough to change your direction completely. But here is the part nobody told you. Your soulmate has been fighting an internal battle you cannot yet see. They have tried to silence what they feel. They have questioned their instincts. At times, they even convinced themselves they should let this connection go. Yet every attempt to forget you only pulled them closer. Because divine connections do not disappear simply because humans become afraid. And yes, fear has been involved. Not fear of you. Fear of losing something sacred. Your soulmate senses that once your voices truly meet, once your hearts fully recognize each other, nothing inside them will remain the same again. That realization has shaken them deeply. Still, despite all their hesitation, something happened recently that changed everything. A moment. A realization. A conversation. A sign they could not ignore anymore. Since then, your energy has become impossible for them to escape. And this is why your spirit feels restless lately. Because somewhere, right now, they are gathering the courage to bridge the silence. You may think you are waiting for love. But love has been walking toward you this entire time. Very soon, a voice will reach your heart in a way you never expected. Not merely through words, but through emotion. Through recognition. Through a feeling so undeniable that your soul will respond before your mind even understands what is happening. When that moment arrives, you must listen carefully. Because hidden inside their voice will be the truth you have waited years to hear. And what they are preparing to reveal may explain why your heart could never fully belong to anyone else. There is a reason your spirit became emotional after hearing these words. Because deep inside, you already sensed that this connection was approaching long before the physical world could confirm it. The soul always arrives first. And tonight, your soulmate is closer to speaking from their heart than they have ever been before. Not with rehearsed perfection. Not with polished confidence. But with the kind of truth that trembles when it finally leaves someone's lips after being hidden for too long. You must understand something important. This person has carried invisible scars into this connection. They have smiled while feeling incomplete. They have stood beside other people while secretly sensing that someone was still missing from their life. That someone was you. Even when they tried to ignore it. Your energy followed them. In crowded rooms, they felt alone. During important moments, they felt something unfinished. And every time they attempted to settle for less than what their soul desired, life quietly pulled them away again. At first, they did not understand why nothing ever fully worked. Now they do. Because destiny was protecting both of you from connections that could never carry the depth your souls were created to experience together. That is why certain endings in your life felt so painful. That is why some people disappeared without explanation. That is why doors closed even when you begged heaven to keep them open. You were not being punished. You were being redirected. And slowly, your soulmate has started realizing the exact same thing. Recently, they began noticing patterns they once ignored. Your energy appears in their thoughts at unexpected hours. Your presence enters their dreams. Even small details around them suddenly remind them of a person they have not fully met yet, but somehow already miss. It feels impossible to them. Yet impossible things happen when heaven begins aligning two hearts. And there is something else you need to know. Your soulmate has been trying to gather the courage to communicate honestly because they sense your heart has already endured disappointment. They fear saying the wrong thing. They fear arriving too late. They fear your walls may now be too strong to let them enter. But despite those fears, they are still moving toward you. That matters more than you realize. Because real love does not appear when everything feels easy. Real love appears when two souls choose each other despite uncertainty. And your soulmate is reaching that point now. In fact, there are moments lately when they feel overwhelmed by emotions they cannot explain logically. Your energy touches them unexpectedly, almost like a memory from another lifetime returning without warning. 1 second they are focused on ordinary life. And the next, they feel an ache in their chest so deep it forces them to stop and breathe. That ache is not sadness. It is recognition. The kind of recognition that changes a person forever. Meanwhile, heaven has also been preparing you. You may have noticed yourself becoming more reflective lately. More sensitive. More aware of emotional shifts around you. Certain songs suddenly hit harder. Certain words feel strangely personal. Even your intuition has become louder than before. That is because your soul is preparing to receive something significant. A message. A conversation. A confession. A moment that will not feel random when it finally happens. And no, it will not arrive exactly how you expect. The universe rarely delivers miracles in predictable packaging. Sometimes the connection begins with a simple sentence. A glance. A voice trembling slightly on the other side of silence. But when it happens, you will feel peace and intensity at the same time. That is how you will know. Not because everything becomes perfect instantly, but because your spirit will stop searching for confirmation it has finally found home. Still, before this voice reaches your heart completely, one final emotional barrier must break. And what your soulmate is about to realize next may become the very thing that pushes them to finally reveal everything they have been hiding.